welcome to today's workshop style video. We are going to be talking about how to create a persona for your business. Now, some of the common mistakes I see with creating a persona is that they're often overgeneralized, they're too broad and not very specific, and essentially they're not done very well. Sometimes the way that people describe their audience is just too broad and it could be applicable to way too many people. So if you clicked on this video, you likely want to improve your messaging, you want to better connect with your audience, you want to be able to pitch and promote your products or offers without feeling like uncomfortable or that it's forced. And with the right messaging, it doesn't have to feel that way. It can feel very at ease and natural and using the language and pain points that will resonate with your audience. And so perhaps in the past, you've made some vague assumptions about your audience. Maybe you just rely on demographic data without really truly taking the time to think about like values, other details like attitudes and lifestyle, and details that can help you really create a better persona. Or perhaps you just don't know how to find out how to get these details. I'm going to show you how you can find these little details and do the research so that it can improve your messaging. So this workshop is going to go beyond the basics. It's not just like a checklist type workshop. I want to give you like the strategic lens that you need to really evaluate and help you uncover who your target audience is. Okay, cool. So for this workshop, I'm going to walk you through how you can create a persona and identify it and do all the research and everything that you need to craft a very unique and specific persona for your business. Now, in this workshop, I have created a mock use case or a mock scenario for us so that it can help guide us through the process and make sure that we are defining and researching according to that scope of that scenario. And then I will also talk about the benefits, how this helps your business, how to actually create the persona, how to conduct the research, and then finally, how you actually guide your persona through your process of having them discover you, engage with you, purchase, and then become loyal customers. So if we haven't met, my name is Nancy Casanova. I am a content strategist, and I love sharing tips, tutorials, and content strategy tips that help you simplify and streamline your content marketing. And for today's workshop, identifying your audience persona helps you really improve your messaging, your value proposition, and how you want to position and distinguish yourself in the market. And I find that it's often not done very well. So I want to be able to guide you through this in a very new perspective, new lens, so that you have a fresh perspective on how to implement this for your business. So for this mock scenario, we are going to pretend that we are launching a new wearable device and that we're entering the market. We have a wearable device that can be used to track exercise, sleep, nutrition, and we want to make sure that we identify who our target audience is and then create specific personas about it. And so I've taken the time to kind of distinguish here, like, okay, who are the players in the game when it comes to wearable technology? What do they offer? How are we different? How do we distinguish ourselves in the market? So that'll be a really fun exercise. Some of the benefits that you'll discover along the way with improving and defining your audience persona is that as you start to do this, you will better understand your audience and have a better understanding of like what they're thinking, seeing, feeling. You'll be able to like really step into their shoes and understand what their needs are, how you can attract and communicate with them. And it'll just help you create more effective messaging. You'll be able to create better products and offers and services and really innovate on what you currently offer. Not only that, but it helps you create a competitive advantage in the market because you'll be able to understand how you're different, how you stand out from the competitors. And then you'll also be able to improve how customer retention in your business looks. So once somebody comes to learn and buy from you, how do you guide them through the additional journey of, really enjoying your product and service or offer in the long term? At a very high level, when it comes to identifying a persona, you start off with just a couple of boxes, right? Where it's like, what's a short description of this person? What are their challenges? What do they need? What are they thinking, seeing, and feeling? And where are the opportunities for us to attract and connect with this particular person? You may also want to identify, like, what is their current understanding of this product or service? Like, have they purchased something like this before? Have they not? What was their previous experience? What are some of the reservations that they might have? You start to go a little bit more deep. Now, you may be wondering, like, wait a minute, how do I even like come to understand my target audience and create an audience persona? Let's talk about the research and how you will actually start to implement this. When it comes to gathering research, I find that the mistake people often make is that they stay on very surface level information. Maybe they just rely just on demographics. Like, they're like, yeah, it's like gender, maybe where they live, their whether they're single or their marital status, super high level. You want to go more specific than that. And you also want to avoid making assumptions or generalizations and then just kind of piecing things together that aren't very concrete. You're just kind of guessing. So, fine, let's acknowledge that sometimes you guess, but now let's go a little bit more specific and view this through a more strategic lens. And I want to equip you with the tools and knowledge that you need to help you conduct this research. Um, there's so many ways that you can go about this when it comes to conducting research, and then prompts and questions that you can ask yourself. So there's qualitative data and quantitative data, right? Qualitative is like things that you might get through anecdotal feedback, through surveys, through one-on-one interactions, through messages and DMs. And then there's the qualitative data, which is like, okay, what does my website data tell me? What does my social media metrics tell me? And then you start to really gather a more cohesive picture of all of this. What you see here are all of the ways that you can conduct some of the research. You can create surveys, you can look at your hard data like your website, how they're coming to learn about your product or offers. You can get customer feedback, whether it's forms or the reviews that you get on your website. One-on-one conversations, you can do focus groups. If you do live video, you can also ask your audience directly there, through social listening. Like, if you just search the product or what this technology, or for example, offers products or services that you're offering, how do people typically interact with that and what is their experience about it? Who are the competitors in that space as you're doing social listening? um, if you go to events, whether it's conferences or networking events, those are also opportunities for you to find and interact with somebody who may fall within your target audience. And then behavioral research. If you have your product out, at a stand or at a table at an event, at a booth, for example, how does your audience like pick it up, interact with it? What are they looking for? Like, what are they doing as they evaluate whether they want to purchase this or not? When it comes to understanding your audience persona, there's a lot of other things that you can ask yourself, like, what do they want? What are their values? How do they ground themselves, or what influences their decisions? What are they driven by? And then what are their objections or concerns when it comes to purchasing something like this? And then what drives their behavior the most? Like, what are they grounded on? These are all like important questions that help you really understand what they value and what's important to them. And then what are their preferred channels? Like, where are they usually hanging out? And then what type of message helps stimulate them towards action? Like, what are the things that really resonate with them that are like, yeah, because of this, they get me, I'm going to make a purchase. So let's take all of this, sort of what we have so far, and take it to Milanote, where we'll break it down and really understand how to build an audience persona. All right, so we are currently in Milanote. Milanote is the tool that I'm currently using to help group all of this together. This is the mock case scenario where we have we're a new wearable technology company, and we want to do some research and figure out details that help us build this one persona. Um, Now, to kind of get this to provide some orientation on all of this, we have some photos and things that are helping us to ground like who this person is. Maybe there's a certain way that your audience, you the way you've interacted with them, you're like, I know that they like matchas, they use like athleisure, but you want to get a little bit more specific, like you're kind of touching surface level things, this is where you kind of start to create that for yourself, and you start integrating all of the data and insights that you gather by talking to your target audience and developing this persona. So here's how Cindy looks. Cindy is one of our personas for this wearable technology. Now, we've done some competitive research with, like, say, the Oura Ring, Fitbit, the Apple Watch, Garmin, and the Whoop. And we are sort of understanding how people describe and talk about these products and some of the pros and cons that people have identified. And as you start to kind of do your background research on, the lay of the land, you start to find that there's a certain person that surfaces from all of this. And one of them is Cindy, the stressed professional. Now, Cindy, here's a little bit about her and like a short bio. Cindy is very ambitious. She's dedicated to her career. She often works long hours and under tight deadlines. And because of this, her work creates a lot of she struggles with some like anxiety and stress because of her workload. You know that she's single, you know her age and approximate income. Now, as I talked about all the places that you can conduct the research, I talked about how you can find your website analytics. You can talk to this person one-on-one in DM, in surveys, emails. And so there's all these different ways that you can be very strategic, pick like a few ways and routes that you want to collect your data, and then start to identify themes. So Cindy is someone that we identified through conducting some of our research. I listed all those different ways that you can conduct research, and some of this was anecdotal by talking to somebody like Cindy on a one-on-one. So Cindy, and talking to her, you feel like she sounds like she's constantly overwhelmed by her workload. She wants to find time to do self-care, but she often feels misunderstood by her colleagues and friends who don't really understand all the pressure she's under. She's like really trying to make an impact in her career. And, she tries to do a lot of stress relief techniques, but hasn't really found anything that consistently works for her. And some of her pain points are that, she has a lot of stress from her job, the workload. It takes a toll on her mental and emotional well-being. She sometimes runs out of time. She's like, oh my God, I don't have time to prioritize this sometimes. Like, it often makes me feel, or makes Cindy feel guilty and, feelings of frustration. Or she might have tried different things. She's like, okay, I've tried different techniques before, but it doesn't really work. And like, it doesn't really align with like it doesn't improve my quality of life. Like, I've tried something, but it's not been effective. And maybe she has difficulty disconnecting. Like, she's always working, so it's hard for her to unwind and walk away from work. And then there's a lack of support. Sometimes her coworkers don't really understand her pressure, the pressure she's in. Her family and friends are like, I don't know, like, you're gonna be okay, but they can't relate to her. So she's like, I don't feel understood. So what does she need? Her main goal is to reduce her stress. She wants to improve her overall well-being. She wants to make sure that something she's using fits and integrates seamlessly into her life, and then be adaptable to different things. She doesn't always maintain a consistent routine because of her hectic lifestyle, but maybe there's something that can really be adaptable for her. And then she's familiar with wearable technology, but hasn't really used it extensively. And then in talking with Cindy, you come to hear that she says certain things. Like, she's like, I know I need to prioritize my own well-being, but with deadlines and looming emails, it's hard to find the time. Or it's like, I really want to find a way to seamlessly integrate self-care into my schedule without feeling guilty about taking care of myself. And then it's like, okay, I really feel like I'm always on edge, and I never really feel present in the moment, but I just want to find something that helps me bring more balance. And then I put a link here for survey results. If you were to say do a survey monkey for your broader audience, and you start to kind of bring in all that data in here, there's different ways that you can help formulate that. And then some of the things that you want to also identify as you're doing your research is okay, what is her current experience and knowledge? Because you want to be able to think about what are her reservations or objections that she might have with purchasing my offer or my product or working with me, right? And then how would you appeal to her? Like, what is it that would help move Cindy's decision towards purchasing? And so it's like what we know is that her current knowledge or experience is that she's familiar with it, hasn't really used it. She wants something that can that she hasn't been able to maintain something because she kind of has a hectic lifestyle. But the way to appeal to Cindy is some of the like benefits of like it can help reduce stress and improve your well-being, like incorporating not only how it helps her but into the messaging, and then highlighting how it seamlessly integrates into her busy lifestyle. And how it can provide real-time feedback for her stress levels. Like, maybe there's patterns that Cindy can also identify as she's wearing this wearable technology that can help her become more self-aware. And then what is like the logic? Like, what is it that that you would say to somebody like Cindy to help her understand like the science behind the tracking capabilities and how it can help her better connect and understand her body better? And then establishing credibility for Cindy. It's like, what are some testimonials that we can showcase from other professionals that are similar that she can relate to, who have also benefited from using the product? So those are some of the ways that appealing to Cindy. Those are some approaches that could work. And then what is it that Cindy needs in order for us, like in order for this to be effective? What are some of the check boxes here that she would need in order for this to be an ideal experience for her? So maybe she wants it to be easy, like seamlessly integrate into her life, into her routine, to her smart devices. Maybe she wants, because of this, it's like something personalized to her, something that's unique and tailored to her current situation. And then something that guides her through it. Like if she hasn't really onboarded well before, making sure that she has a guided onboarding experience so that she can know that there's exercises, breathing exercises she can use, relaxation techniques that really help nudge and guide her towards using this more often. And then any positive reinforcement in her approach to try and improve her well-being. Is there something that we can provide that sort of positive reinforcement that she needs in order to continue with this habit? And then customizable settings, because we know that there's individual needs that she might have, preferences, when she wants to be notified, maybe early in the morning, later in the evening. Like she might have a time in the day where she wants to be able to allocate the specific time that she wants to put into incorporating wellness into her routine. And then finally, because we know that Cindy has like a busy schedule, we want to make sure that this battery has a long lasting battery life so that it can be used throughout Cindy's busy schedule. And so now that we have this sort of insight, what do we do with this, right? Now we start crafting messages for Cindy so that this can be incorporated into her marketing message, into the marketing messages that we'll have for her. So we've gathered the research, we've started to map out what Cindy's needs are. Like we try to answer some of these questions. What are some objections? What are her preferred ways to receive this information? What would stimulate her towards taking action and making a purchase? Now what we want to do is we want to map this journey. So as we're thinking about this, we know a couple of details about Cindy. We know that she's our persona is the stressed professional, and we know that she struggles with stress and anxiety, and because of the high demands of her work and her job, and she finds it really hard to balance personal life and work-life balance and incorporate wellness into her routine. So as we went through that exercise, we were able to identify some of the things that she's struggling with and some of the ways that she describes her problem. So what we want to do here is we want to take some of the language that Cindy uses and incorporate some of that into our website content, into the copy for like sales pages, into other touch points such as social media posts and other landing pages and content that you might be using. And then you also want to be able to address their pain points with a more positive journey. It's like, hey, we know that this is happening to you, Cindy. Here's how this can help. And, reframing it in a way that positions it in a very positive frame of mind. And then how can you guide them through this sort of transformation, the journey that they're looking for? How can you guide them? And so these are some of the things that we'll look for. First, we have like how Cindy first discovers this wearable technology. Maybe it's through an ad or a friend or word of mouth. And then, she visits the website, she learns about the features, the benefits, and then, sort of like a thought bubble. What would Cindy, as you put yourself in her shoes, she'd be like, hey, you know what? I'm looking for something that can help me manage my stress, improve my well-being. This is a wearable device that sounds pretty interesting. Maybe it could provide the solution that I've been looking for. So on a mood scale, it's probably high. She's like, okay, I'm kind of delighted to come across this. So what are some like solutions that you can offer here? It's like maybe it comes with customizable colors that, fits her personality, her style. Maybe it offers a comparison where she can see like, how does this compare with another device that I'm, exploring, and things that through market research are out there. Then it comes with the onboarding experience. So now maybe she downloads the app after she makes this purchase. She downloads the companion app. She gets instructions on how to create an account and pair it with her smartphone. And she's like, hey, you know what? The watch looks great. It feels light. I also like the way the app looks, so I can track my sleep and my stress. And so she's still kind of feeling good. She receives like a message from you or a tutorial about the app guiding her through the key features and functionalities. So now continuing on with the journey, Cindy wears the device throughout the day. She tracks her activity, her stress levels. So now as a touch point, she receives notifications. So it's like these notifications are kind of prompting her to take breaks, practice mindfulness exercises. And she's like, you know what? I'm going to try to take a meditation session to see how this works. Okay, let me give it a try. And then after that, there could be a possible additional touch point where it's like, hey, you did some meditation. Do you want to join this meditation challenge within the app? Now, this is just one example of the journey that you're taking your persona through. And it's like, how do they discover you? How do they come to onboard and learn about your product? What does like the journey of that look like? And what is like the action that they're taking that you want them to take? What are the touch points that you're offering? What are the call to actions that you're providing? What are they thinking, feeling, and seeing as they're interacting with your product? And how do they feel about it? Is it currently a frustrating experience for them? How can you make it a more delightful experience for them? And so here you can kind of track, like, are they frustrated? Are they kind of neutral about this? Do they feel excited, delighted? And these are all things that you can kind of map through. And then offering the other possible solutions, it's like, hey, they did this. What is the next step? How are you guiding them through? And so this is all important because you start to craft messages that are in line with what she's experiencing, how she's onboarding, how she's coming to learn about your product. What she has expressed are her current pain points and frustrations, and you're addressing all of her objections and reservations she may have about using this product or service. So there you have it. These are some of the steps that you can take and the research that you can use and the tools that are available for you, so that you can take the research and insights that you collect and really help you craft a persona that you can better connect with and eventually convert into a happy paying customer. I hope you enjoyed today's workshop style video. If there's a topic or a question that you have that you'd like me to cover in a future video, leave a comment and let me know, and I will see you in the next video. Thanks so much. Bye.